What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I wanted to talk to you guys today about two different things, both having to do with the defensive line. The first is Will McDonald and why I think he is due for a dominant performance in the preseason. And then the second thing here is the Haason Reddick contract situation. Let's start with Will McDonald, who honestly looked pretty dominant at times in the joint practice against the Washington Commanders. Go figure. Will McDonald is good. I know Buffalo Jet fans started that trend. The Will McDonald is good, but I am jumping on that bandwagon. While I might not have loved the Will McDonald pick at the time, I think there's no denying that he is a talented pass rusher, and the Jets need just that, someone who can get after the quarterback. And McDonald, I think, is going to show off his skill set in doing that this preseason. In the training camp practice against the Washington Commanders, it didn't seem to matter who he was going up against. He was just beating people left and right, which again is really exciting. And last preseason for the Jets as a rookie in very sheltered minutes, I thought he looked really good. In 4 preseason games last year, he had 7 pressures and a sack. The games that really stand out to me were against the Carolina Panthers. I thought he got a good amount of pressure on the Panthers quarterbacks, and he also graded out very well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the preseason too. I mentioned this in the preview video for this upcoming game on Saturday, and I'm not saying that I'm advocating for this, but something that I think we may see is Will McDonald playing much deeper into games. And if he plays a good chunk of the first half, I think you're going to see him against some weaker competition. And while I think McDonald is absolutely someone who is competent enough to be a part of and a big part of this rotation and get sacks in key situations, if he's going up against second and third stringers, I think we will even see him stand out even more so. And when you think about it, like, the Jets aren't going to be playing Jermaine Johnson. Haason Reddick is still holding out. More on that later. Quinnen Williams isn't going to get his opportunities. So honestly, one of the bigger names is going to be Will McDonald, who gets some run here. And again, like I said, I'm not saying that I would play him crazy deep into games, but that's just what I think the Jets are going to do. I mean, last year we saw Bryce Huff in the fourth quarter of the Hall of Fame game. Like, I mean, this is just what they do. They value their guys in a certain way. And for Will McDonald in particular, I think he's going to really put on a show starting this week against Washington, who he looked good against already in practice. Guys, I want to talk to you about Chubbies. I'm rocking the shirt today. Very comfortable, dressier style of shirt. Sundays are for the boys, the game, and of course, Chubbies. Whether you're tailgating, hitting the grill, or kicking back on the couch with the boys, Chubbies premium shorts and gear are designed to keep you comfortable and looking sharp from kickoff to the final whistle. Nothing screams game day like the comfort and style of Chubbies. Chubbies, where comfort meets game day vibes, from super stretchy shorts and swim trunks in 3 inseam lengths to pants, polos, and button-down shirts for when you need to put down a few cold ones with the fellas. Chubby shorts are made from high-quality fabrics that keep you cool and dry no matter how intense the game may get. When you're deeply invested in the game, you need threads that are going to be there for you as you sweat, scream, jump for joy, or even sulk in disappointment. There's no better gear to run through all the different game day emotions in than Chubbies. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our exclusive code. Use code O'Leary at chubbyshorts.com and pick yourself up something nice. Now, the second part of this story is Haason Reddick. He's still holding out. Now, Zach Rosenblatt, who covers the New York Jets for The Athletic, was on his podcast, and he had Will Parkinson on the show, and they were discussing the Haason Reddick situation. I just want to play a little bit of a clip from their show and react to that.
Like, what he's doing, he's putting a target on his back now to where he does come back. He has the fans like ready to pounce on him if he doesn't play well, if he gets hurt, or if he shows up out of shape. They're going to be ready. Like, he needs to be great every week. If he comes back and gets all this money, and then if he doesn't perform, like, that's an extra layer of pressure. And maybe that doesn't matter to him. He's a pretty talented guy, but I just think he's putting a lot of negative energy toward himself, and he hasn't really gotten to know his teammates at all. By all accounts, he hasn't really talked to any of them or most of them. His coaches, it's been pretty limited communication. Nobody seems to know if and when he's going to come back. Like, this feels like, as we're sitting here right now, I don't know about how you feel, Will, but it feels like this could go into the regular season unless I mean, it just takes Haason showing up and nobody knows when he's going to do it. So
both sides should be extremely motivated to figure something out.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
It's starting to get a little frustrating, honestly, and I don't think you could pin the blame all on one side. I think there's blame to go both ways here. From the Jets' point of view, this is something that seems like it just happens a lot with these contracts, man. Like, they couldn't figure it out with Bryce Huff. They haven't gotten ahead of the Michael Carter situation. They then trade away John Franklin Myers for pennies on the dollars, and Reddick, yeah, maybe he did have the handshake agreement with the Jets, but I see a lot of fans who are like, we don't need Haason Reddick. Everything's going to be fine. Just, trade him, cut him, do whatever. We don't need this kind of a headache. And while I'm frustrated by the headache right now as much as anybody, the reality is they do really need Haason Reddick. You need multiple good pass rushers in this Jets defense. And I really like Jermaine Johnson on the edge. I think he's a really good player, but they don't have that guy who's going to come screaming, flying off the edge and give you 12 sacks a year like Reddick. Reddick, for the last 4 years, has given double-digit sacks consistently and with ease. And can the Jets be a good defense without Haason Reddick? Yes, they could still be a good defense, but this team is built around having an elite-level defense, and they need a player like Haason Reddick in order to do that. Yes, Will McDonald still plays a part. Yes, someone like a Michael Clemens or Tack McKinley or whoever else on the edge is going to get reps is going to play a part of this, but they really do need Haason Reddick here. And it's been 18 days already. 18 days on this holdout. The Darrelle Revis one lasted 35. It kind of feels like that's where this is trending right now, unless like Reddick could end this the second he shows up. This is over and they get a new deal, right? But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm prisoner of the moment and Jet fans are just a prisoner of the moment right now. But I don't know when this is going to get done. I feel like I get asked about it a lot, and I wasn't all that worried about it, in June and OTAs and minicamp. But now that we got to training camp and he's missing multiple practices in multiple weeks, it's starting to get a little bit more worrisome. Is he going to miss games over this? That feels a little silly. I don't know what the end game here is for Haason Reddick and the Jets, but something has to get done here eventually, right? I mean, this just seems like it's getting crazy. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on both of these thoughts in the comments down below. I am Matt O'Leary. Catch you guys next time.